Good morning, it's Mother Earth here again. I am so glad you're here to join me on this beautiful sunny Thursday morning. And we have a really fun topic to talk about today, something that we're probably all enjoying as the weather is getting warmer. We're going to talk about water. Specifically, we're going to talk about water conservation. So I'm going to wait a minute to get started. But if you're here, go ahead and give me a comment and let me know. I know Miss Lisa is here. If anybody else is here, please put in the comments your name and let me know where you are from. So we'll give just a couple of seconds before we get started, let people get signed in and join us. We're going to be talking about water conservation, learning about what that means, why it's important, and how we can learn to be junior water conservationists. So go ahead and keep commenting and letting me know if you're joining. I know some of you might be doing your virtual learning classes right now, and you may be joining us later when this is recorded. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, what is water conservation? What is water conservation? So water conservation is, and I wrote down the definition so I wouldn't mess it up, using water efficiently to reduce water waste. So using it efficiently means using as little as possible to still get the job done. So being a water conservationist means that you advocate to use as little water as possible to get the job done so you don't waste water. Hi Cassie Casey, thanks for joining me. And why is it important? So let's talk about, why is water conservation important? I look around me and I see a ton of water. So why do I need to save it? We're going to talk about that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, what percent of the earth is made of water? Does anybody know? What percent of the earth is made of water? The percent of the earth that's made of water is 71%. That means more than 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered in water. I mean, almost 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered in water. That's a lot of water, right? But let's break that down, okay? 71% is covered in water. Of that 71%, 97% of it is salt water. Can you drink salt water? No, you can't drink salt water. That's for fish and dolphins and whales. Humans can't drink salt water. So 97% of the water that's on the earth is made of salt water. So that means, to make 100%, only 3% of the earth's water is fresh water. That's not very much, is it? So fresh water is your lakes and your rivers and the water that is, well, not salty. And of that 71% that is water, this is how much is actually drinkable. 0.0075%. So that is less than 1%. Less than 1% of the earth's water is drinkable. So we have to think about what would happen if this less than 1% of water ran out. Why would it run out? So we can think about drought. Drought means when it goes a long time without rain. We can think about resource guarding. That means if other countries or other leaders and other people were to guard water and not share it with others. So it's very, very important that we protect our fresh, drinkable water resources. So we're going to talk about how you can do that in your home. So the first thing we want to go over is, how do we use water every day? What are some ways we use water? Type in the comments and tell me how you use water. Hi, Momo. And Lisa said salt water is for fish. That's exactly right. We can't drink salt water. We have to drink fresh water, and not even all fresh water is drinkable. It has to be cleaned and purified for us to be able to drink it. So be telling me in the comments, what are some ways that you can, that you use water during your everyday life? Hi, Miss Holly. Holly just joined us. Okay, so while I'm waiting for people to comment, I'll go ahead and talk about the ways that I use water in my everyday life. So when I wake up, I take a shower. That uses water. I brush my teeth. That uses water. I drink a glass of water. Then I wash my dishes. I might do a load of laundry. What else might I do? Of course, right now we're doing a lot of hand washing, and that's very important. Sometimes I water my plants, inside and outside. Yes, Holly said you also use water to cook. That's exactly right. You can also use water to wash your car or to fill a pool. So you use your hose outside for lots of different types of water. Okay, so now that we've talked about all of the different ways that we use water, we're going to talk about how much water it takes to do each of those things. So we're going to talk about it in terms of gallons. This is a gallon jug. A gallon is a volume measurement that is used for liquids. So this is 1 gallon. That's a lot of water, right? That's a lot of water. Okay, so we're going to talk about this in terms of gallons. Now this was a gallon of vinegar that I used for cleaning, but you might find milk in a gallon jug. You might find tea or water in a gallon jug. Lots of things come in a jug. Yes, somebody said that you might fill your dog's water bowl. That's right. All of the living things in your house need water to drink, including your pets. Kevin and Kat and Lena just joined us, and Celia. So I want to go over how much water each of these takes. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about, one that I actually didn't bring up before, is flushing the toilet. How many gallons of water do you think it takes to flush the toilet? It's not as many as you might think. Modern toilets that have been installed in the last 10 or 15 years are much more efficient than old toilets. That means they use less water to do the same job, okay? It takes only 1.6 gallons to flush a toilet. Yes, another way that we use water is to fill up your swimming pool. Thank you, Momo. And we're actually going to talk about that one. That one uses thousands of gallons of water. The next one, we did talk about this one, is brushing your teeth. So, how many gallons of water do you think it takes to brush your teeth? How many gallons of water to brush your teeth? Now, it depends on if you leave the water running or if you turn it off while you brush your teeth. I always turn the water off while I brush my teeth. But if you leave the water running, it can take as many as 2 gallons to brush your teeth. Wow, that is a lot of water. More than to flush the toilet. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is the dishwasher. How many gallons do you think it takes to run your dishwasher? So it takes 6 gallons of water to run your dishwasher. That's a lot of gallons, right? So we always want to make sure that our dishwasher is as full as possible. We don't want to run a half-empty dishwasher. And another way to save water when you're washing your dishes, for example, if you don't have a dishwasher, is to soak your dishes, scrub them with a sink full of water, and then rinse them off rather than leaving the water running the whole time. So that's another way to save water. The next one I want to talk about is Laundry. How many gallons of water do you think it takes to do a load of laundry? Think about the big bowl that all of your laundry goes in. Now this is kind of a tricky question because the answer that I have on here is for an old washing machine, but modern washing machines use a lot less water. So old washing machines to do a load of laundry would take 30 gallons. That's because they used to fill, you used to put your clothes in and then they would fill all the way up to the top with water, and that took 30 gallons of water. But now, most of you have an energy efficient washer, and it spins the clothes to find out how much they weigh and how much water they need to get clean. So it probably uses a lot less than 30 gallons of water. So one thing that we're learning here is that we have control over how long we leave the sink on, but also another really awesome way not only to save money, but to save water is to update your appliances if you have the capacity to do so. So if your dishwasher breaks or your washing machine breaks, to upgrade it with an energy efficient system. That means that it uses as little water as possible. Hi, Lena. I'm so glad you're here with me. We're going to talk about water. We're talking about water conservation. Okay, we already did this one. So the next one we're going to talk about are taking a bath versus taking a shower. So how many gallons of water do you think it takes to fill up your big bathtub? It's a lot of gallons. More than it takes to do a load of laundry. More than twice as much that it takes to do a load of laundry. We're going to learn which takes more. So a bath, if you have a standard size bathtub, takes 70 gallons of water. That's more than 2 loads of laundry. That's a lot of water. Wow. Okay, a shower, if you have a modern shower head, only takes 2 gallons per minute. That's what GPM means. That means the water comes out of the spout at 2 gallons per minute. So if you take a 10-minute shower, you're only using 20 gallons of water versus 70 gallons of water. So one easy way you can save water at your house is to take a shower rather than a bath. Okay, and we talked about this a little bit, but one of the ways that you also use water is using your hose outside. And you might do a variety of tasks with that. You might wash your car, you might water your plants, or you might fill a pool. And most hoses come out at a rate of 10 gallons per minute. The water in your hose comes out a lot faster than the water in your sink because the water in your sink has something in it called an aerator. That means it spreads out the water so that the water isn't coming out in a full stream. But in your hose, in your backyard, the water is coming out at a full stream. So it can do as many as 10 gallons per minute. So if you leave the water running while you wash your car for 20 minutes, that's 200 gallons. Wow. Watering your plants, same thing. And then filling a pool, a standardized pool takes, get ready for this, 20,000 gallons to fill up. That's a lot of water, huh? Okay, so now that we've talked about how much water some of these common things take, I'm going to teach you how you can measure the amount of water that it takes that you use in your house. So the way that we're going to do that is you need to measure 5 things. First, you need a gallon jug. So you can get an empty, this was vinegar, you can use an empty water, tea, milk, any of those. Empty it out, clean it out. And then I need you to measure these 5 areas in your house. Your kitchen sink, your bathroom sink, your tub, your shower, and your hose outside. And you're going to measure the gallon per minute rate of each of these. Now, when you're done measuring it, I want you to make sure you use the water efficiently. You can use it to cook pasta. You can use it to water your plants. Just make sure you reuse the water and you're not wasting it, okay? So I measured the water in my kitchen sink. I turned on the water and I started my stopwatch on my phone at the same time. And I let it run for until it filled up to 1 gallon. It took 40 seconds to fill up 1 gallon, which means if I did 60 seconds, which is how many seconds are in a minute, I would have to times this number by 1.5 to convert 40 seconds to 60 seconds to measure how many I have. So if it takes 40 seconds to fill up 1 gallon, 60 seconds would do 1.5 gallons per minute. So 1.5 gallons per minute is the rate that runs on my kitchen sink. And I can use the same stopwatch, the stopwatch method to measure the other water sinks and hoses around my house. So just fill up 1 gallon, see how many seconds that takes, and then convert that to how many gallons it would take in a minute, okay? So what I want you to do is after you measure all of those, I want you to track you and your family's water usage over the weekend. So every time somebody takes a shower, every time they brush their teeth, every time your mom is cooking, or when you're outside watering the plants, I want you to measure all of those ways that you use water and write them down. Even if you don't write down how much water you're using, I want you to write down the ways you're using water at least, okay? So keep track in a day of the ways you're using water, and if you're feeling extra ambitious, try to calculate how much water you think you're using. So I want you to do this over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. And then when we check back in on Tuesday, I'm going to see how much water you used, and we're going to go over some ways that you think that you can save water at your house. For example, turning the water off while you brush your teeth, taking a shower instead of taking a bath, or soaking your dishes before you wash them rather than leaving the water running. Does anybody have any questions for me? I think that's all of the ways. Now, I do want to talk about 2 ways that we don't necessarily need to be saving water, especially right now. So you need to be washing your hands for at least 20 seconds so you can get rid of all of those germs. So we don't want to save water in that area. Wash your hands for 20 seconds with warm water. Another area that we don't necessarily want to save water is drinking. We want to make sure that we're drinking plenty of water and keeping our bodies hydrated. So using water efficiently means using as little water as possible and still getting the job done, okay? We have to stay hydrated and we have to keep our hands clean, okay? And of course our bodies. We still want to take showers and baths. We just want to do it efficiently. So I want you to calculate your water usage over the weekend, report back to me on Tuesday, and then we'll talk about all of the ways that you can save water in the coming weeks. I thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.